Thanks so much, Elise. Spring is one of the busiest times for the real estate market, but before you jump in and buy a house, there is a lot you should know. So here to help us navigate the ins and outs of home buying is Senior Mortgage Advisor Clinton Wilkins. Thanks for being here, Clinton.
Thanks for having me.
There's a lot to get to, especially with this spring market, right? If you are going to put your house on the market, now is the time.
Like now is definitely the time. The spring market is, one of the busiest times of the year. And, we're coming in from a slower time. The winter is one of the slower times. So the spring is definitely a time that, consumers want to think about getting pre-approved, and the market's starting to heat up. I think the inventory in Halifax, is limited. So there definitely are quite a few buyers out there in the market. And some of the challenges that they're having are there's only so many houses out there to buy. So I expect things are really going to be heating up through the spring into the summer. So it's pretty exciting.
So because of that, are you seeing more people that weren't sure if they were going to sell now considering it? Because it is a seller's market.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely shifted towards being a seller's market here in Halifax. And I think that, people that are thinking about getting their houses, sold, it's a great time to list. There's lots of people out there that have been pre-approved. And I really do urge anyone who's considering home ownership, pre-approval is the first step that you should really think about, when you're starting the process.
Okay, can you tell us a bit about what a pre-approval looks like and why it's important?
Yeah, and I think that, over the years, there's been maybe a little bit of a negative stigma about getting pre-approved, but I definitely do think it's the most important process. For us, we really want to know the client before they go out and make an offer on a property. And not everyone does get pre-approved, but I really do believe in it, and I think it's, the best thing for clients. So pre-approval really is two things. It's a pre-qualification, but it's also a rate hold. So it's super important to know, what type of rate product you're going to be able to get once you make an offer on a property. There's been lots of noise in the media lately about, rates going up and rates going down. And I think going through the pre-approval process, you can really figure out, what rate product's right for you and, what type of rate is going to best suit your household. And, it's the biggest purchase of your life. So you want to know, hey, can you afford it? And no one wants to be sitting in a house that they can't furnish and eating craft dinner.
Right.
Really.
And the rules have changed around mortgages. There's a bit of a stress test now, especially for first-time buyers. So are you finding with your clients that you're looking at houses that you weren't looking at, say, even like 5 years ago?
I think, there's been a shift. I think that clients can qualify for a little bit less than what they were able to qualify for before. I think we're feeling it less in Atlantic Canada than they are in other major centers like Toronto and Vancouver. I think that they're definitely seeing more of a challenge in those markets. Here in Atlantic Canada, home ownership is still possible. Almost every Canadian homeownership can be available here in Atlantic, which is great. The average house price in Halifax is about $327,000, so it's definitely achievable. But there are homes available for first-time home buyers. If you go a little bit outside of the downtown core of Halifax, realistically, you can buy a house for $200,000, and that is achievable on a lot of household incomes.
And you can afford furniture and dinner.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Great. Thanks
we'll have
so
you in
much.
next month.
Yeah,
and if you have
sure.
any questions for Clinton, send us an email, then you can kind of field those questions for us. Be our mortgage expert.
100%. Yeah, we'd love to have that.
Okay, fantastic.
All right, thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Let's go now to Cyril.